Yo, what's up, guys? Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and we got a lot to talk about today. Talking about Pistola and Snipe Down reunion coming back, round 2. Renegade maybe not going to Sentinels. A second international star moving to North America. Xset Splitting with a top 5 player in every category. More Rostermania, changes to settings, and Thursday's Pro Series. We have so much to talk about, so let's just simply get right into it. Right off the rip, we're going to talk about the possibility of Pistola and Snipe Down teaming once again during a Sunday's Pro Series watch party. Mikwens talked about these two possibly coming back together and a couple of other things, which I think is really interesting. Pistola and Snipe Down are two of some of my favorite players to watch of all time. I think Pistola is absolutely an absolute amazing personality, absolutely hilarious, and has a very interesting style to watch and also play against. And you have Snipe Down. It doesn't play like a take 1v2s. His shots just so good, communication on point. Just one of the coolest guys that we have in Halo Infinite. Bringing them back together could be incredible, but it raises the question, who are going to be the two players joining them? Mikwens talked about some other roster moves as well, so why don't we just take a quick listen here?
No idea with Renegade. I'm pretty sure Sparty's teaming with King Nick, Boo Boo, and Foul, and they're going to be united.
So we talked about that team a little bit. They were playing in those Knights tournaments and actually won maybe like 3 in a row. They ended up losing just the one last week, and actually Knights asked me to fill in. And of course, the one that I cast, the one they lose, they lost to Renegade, Super CC, and Suppressed made a squad. And that was really cool. So I got the chance to commentate over that, and we finally saw the trio of Sparty, Falcon, and Boo Boo Doo getting taken down. But I will say they didn't have King Nick. They actually had Sab filling in for that roster. So, but yeah, I also will say I thought they were going to be joining FaZe's side, but Mikwens saying maybe they joined the United side. So I kind of got one of these rumors a little bit right. You know, that was one of my thoughts, but it looks like I had the wrong team according to Mikwens' thoughts. Again, it's just rumors, nothing confirmed yet.
And then Rain, Ryanoob, King Nick, Rain, Ryanoob, Suspector, and Arctic are probably teaming on Xset, I think.
Rain, Ryanoob, Suspector, and Arctic. That is an interesting squad. That is a squad with a ton of potential. I'm not sure if I'm exactly in love with it, but I will say it's definitely going to be interesting. Obviously Ryanoob and Rain have been a duo for a little bit of time now. They really like each other. Their playstyle complement each other really well. I questioned when Xset ended up dropping Suppressed, but they ended up dropping another player, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on in this episode here. And looks like they're making room for 2 players, and why not be Ryanoob and Rain? So it makes sense to me. We'll see how things go from there. Next up, we're going to talk about Renegade possibly not going to Sentinels. HCS Intel giving us an update saying a buyout agreement for Renegade has yet to be reached between Sentinels and Cloud9. Lethal will play with Sentinels in tomorrow's Open Series, which happened. They did qualify for the Pro Series on Thursday. We'll talk about that a little bit later. If the deal falls through, Lethal will remain on the starting roster for the foreseeable future. So well, first of all, if this is true, which I think it is, I think there was validity to this rumor. I think the reason why is I feel like if Sentinels weren't planning on dropping Lethal, every time Snakebite and Frosty and everybody would have been asked about this, they would have responded and denied the rumors immediately. The fact that they had a lot of silence with it and didn't talk about it, to me, I think silence says yes. I think if it's not true, you have to nip it in the bud right away. No, absolutely, it just cut it out. But when you're not saying anything about it, like where there's smoke, there's fire. I say it all the time. So I really think that the rumors might have been true, but maybe Cloud9 are not willing to play ball with Sentinels. Maybe Cloud9 are saying, look, we will work with Renegade to move into a different team if that's what he wants, because the rumors are that Renegade wants to lead the team. But the 2 teams we won't send them to is Sentinels and Optic. What if that's what Cloud9 say? Cloud9 will probably say, what if they go up to Renegade and say, look, you're the face of our franchise. We would love to keep you. We'd love to work this out. But if you want to leave, we're not working with Sentinels and Optic. I don't know if that's the case. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to theory craft here. But I mean, if I'm Cloud9, I mean, I'm not working with like I'm not gonna make Sentinels stronger. I'm not gonna make Optics stronger. Like no, I'm gonna you know if FaZe pick up the phone, if United pick up the phone, sure I'll talk to them. Even them, I don't want to make them stronger. Either way, there's a possibility that Renegade doesn't go to Sentinels, and Lethal stays on there, and that just I want to give a shout out to Lethal. Like if this is true. And Lethal gets hit up and say, hey, look, we're going to keep you, we're going to play with the Pro Series. And after thinking he's going to be dropped, like, and he just says, you know what, I'll put on my hard hat, pick up my lunch pail, and get to work. Shout out to Lethal and his character, because that's, I don't know, that's tough to me. But either way, if Lethal might be staying on this on the Sentinels roster for the foreseeable future. And we'll see where it goes from there. Next up, we got to talk about Xset splitting ways with a top 5 player in every category, self-proclaimed by Kratos himself. Splitting ways as Kratos no longer going to be with Xset. Maybe they're making room for that YNOT and Rain duo. I'll be honest, I like Kratos as a teammate. I really do. I think as some of the outlandish things that Kratos says, which first of all, it's amazing for the league. We need a villain in the league, and Kratos kind of plays that villain role really well. By the way, great picture of him, by the way. On top of that, whenever he talked about his teammates, like he always was so passionate about his teammates. He always was. I'm sorry. He was always. He just. I don't know. I just feel like he always talked with such love and passion about his teammates, like Suspector, and then he was always the ones hyping him up. And I feel like they fed off of that energy. I actually really liked Kratos on this Xset roster, but if they are making room for Ryan, Noob, and Rain, it does kind of make sense there. And we'll see what Kratos ends up. Maybe he teams with Miss Lakecard. We know that he's been grinding with her, and at one point they even gave her a shot with the Pro Series run. So maybe that's still a thing. Either way, hope he lands someplace, because honestly, Halo needs a Kratos. And maybe Kratos needs a Halo. So we'll see where they go with that. Next up, we got to talk about another international player looking to make his way to North America. Shady tweeting out America in his little hourglass, almost saying it's only a matter of time before he moves to North America. It seems like Shady was on the #1 team in Europe called the Send, and they ended up dropping him despite being undefeated for like almost 2 years. They had decided to drop him, seemingly picking up Snipe Drone, even though I don't know if anything's official with that. I reached out to Shady myself, and as I said, are you really trying to come to North America? And he literally said, I'm trying. So any squads that aren't solidified that need a gunner, like, come on now. You gotta respect what Shady brings to the table. And I hope he ends up finding a home in North America. I would welcome him with open arms. Talent needs to be recognized, and we had talked about Barcode possibly moving over and maybe joining G2. I wonder where Shady might just land, but that's really interesting. Next up, we got to talk about Oxygen Esports bringing on Triton, and now rounding out their roster, we're bringing out JK. Young Jan competed under EMGG in Kansas City. A lot of people counted them out. They made it through the open bracket, which by the way was the hardest open bracket of any season in Halo, in my opinion. It was crazy. They were able to make it. I think they actually ended up maybe top 16. They teamed alongside Gold Star, Fluorescently. Those guys were absolutely incredible. And while the adversity that they faced going into Kansas City, it was really cool for them to come out with what I consider a huge win, because a lot of people had them as a dark horse squad. They just came out and just did the damn thing. So big shout out to Oxygen Esports. JK rounding out this team, joining Triton, Name, and Common is going to be the new team of 4 for Oxygen Esports. Next up, we have possible changes coming to the settings. Calder or Crossfade, I believe the owner of Sauna 8, to my knowledge, competitive player, always kind of on the cusp of making it to pro. If not top amateur, I would consider pro. Is Crossfade saying got to change King of the Hill overtime rules? That's just not it. That's Tashi. Tashi responds back saying multiplayer team is targeting a change for next month. So the more I'm starting to play King of the Hill, the more it's actually starting to grow on me. I know I said I hated it to begin with, but I hate everything that's new to begin with. So I gave it some time. It's starting to grow on me a little bit. But big shout out to 343 and the multiplayer team for not just taking this game type and just leaving it the way it is. Like, no, they want to give it that quality of life adjustments, fine tune it, and make it the best it can be. So shout out to 343 and the multiplayer team. And I wonder what kind of changes they end up making to King of the Hill. Finally, I just want to talk about what's going to happen on Thursday. We knew who the top 8 was from last week. We now know who the 9 through 16 teams that are going to be joining them. And I don't believe there's a bracket out here. Oh, actually, hold on. Is there a bracket? Maybe they updated it where they put a bracket on it. Nah, no bracket. I'm sorry. Doesn't look like there's a bracket. I'll do a bracket run, but we can still run through these teams and give expectations even without a bracket. And then maybe on Wednesday I'll make another video where we just dedicate that to whatever news happens in the next few days and talk about an exact bracket matchup to see where these teams land. But we can still talk about these rosters and expectations. So starting with complexity. Still running with Furiously. Triton did leave the squad. I reached out to Triton myself. He said he wanted to leave the squad to play with some of his best friends and get back to enjoying Halo. Love that. They're picking up Furiously from that EMGG roster we talked about before that JK came from as well, signing with Oxygen Esports. Lots of talent here. I think Complexity should be fighting for, I would say top 12, top 8 maybe. Top 8's a little bit of stretch, so I would say top 12 is probably where Complex end up landing, but hey, prove me wrong. Luminosity kind of in the same boat. Gold Star BR also coming from that EMGG roster where, again, Furiously, JK, this squad split up and just end up like on all top teams. Rejoining Neronico and Carmea. On this Luminosity roster, this is a trio that's seen before. I think Luminosity is a very similar place to Complexity. You know, top 12, top 8 might be a little bit of a stretch. Pioneers, keeping the same roster. This is Pioneers' time. Pioneers need a top 4. I think it's top 4 bust. With FaZe and United not competing, I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't be able to get top 4. They're an ultra talented squad. They grind the game. They do everything right. Pioneers is top 4 bust in my opinion. Space Station Gaming recently signing Suppressed, and even Collected is still new to the squad, joining the duo of Tylenol and Ace. I'm giving Space Station Gaming one more week. This is Thursday, the final tournament, where I say, okay, Space Station Gaming are this ultra talented squad. They have high potential. After this Thursday, we start putting some weight on Space Station Gaming, because at that point they have a few tournaments under their belt. I'm hoping that they're scrimming and putting in that work. After this Thursday, we need to see Space Station Gaming continuously getting top 6. And if E United and FaZe aren't playing, I say they should be going for top 4 consistently. But I'll give them one more week. You know, they're still learning. They're still getting to know each other. But there's just too much talent with this core 3 and the experience that Ace and even his brother Ella might bring to the table. I'm sorry. Like, there's too much talent for this team not to be fighting for that top 6 or top 4. G2 kind of put them in a similar boat to Space Station Game, even though I like this G2 roster. I think they had the highest placing with Rami. They're bringing them back once again to join the core 3. The rumors are that eventually this is going to be barcode in this spot here, but as of right now, it's Rami. And they had the highest placing of top 4 maybe 2 weeks ago, I want to say it was. Maybe it was last week. I can't exactly remember what it is either way. G2, similar boat to Space Station Gaming, where, you know, they can go back and forth. I think in a head-to-head matchup, I think I like Space Station Gaming a little bit more. But I mean, who knows? You know, the eyeball test will really tell us. Cloud9 once again running with Bound. Ooh, they won the first open series with Bound. The second series Optic won. I'll say Cloud9 win this one. Let's go back and forward a little bit. Top 2 or bust if you're Cloud9. Even with Sentinel joining, I think top 2 or bust for Cloud9. G1. G1 ultra talented team have been really playing well, and a lot of people are still doubting this squad, even though week in and week out they just simply put their heads down and put in that work. think G1 are an interesting team. You know, I can see this team landing top 12. I can see this team shooting for top 4. Like, legitimately, G1 have probably the widest range out of anybody in the tournament. Optic Gaming, top 2 or bust. You just won last week. Your roster stayed intact for quite some time. Top 2 or bust. The duo Squilly and Gunshot coming in once again. They played together in Raleigh, I want to say, joining Firebird, an Atlanta local, and also Hative, who's been there, done that. I've been hearing about him since Halo 5. Good roster. Top 12, maybe. Showtime, Alex Shock, Groovy, Precision, XEOD. This is the core 3 that was once running with Mortally, now running with XEOD or Zod, I want to say it is. Top 12, maybe. Fnatic. Fnatic's an interesting one. Another wide range team. Envoy, Certified, Jazeera, and Super CC. Same squad. They run in for a little bit. They did bench Jazeera for like 2 weeks and then picked them back up. That was kind of weird, but either way, another wide range. I can see Fnatic placing as high as top 4 as a stretch goal, maybe top 6, but I can also see them dropping as low as top 12. Another wide range for Team Fnatic. Vengeance, we had Burn that was previously teaming with Status Quo alongside Flame Sword. It was like that leading Slayer, really strong. Nebula, formerly of Built by Gamers. Fantasy, who really stepped into his own during the second life of Halo 3 MCC. And Sorrel, he's a been there, done that player as well. I really started hearing about him in Halo 5. Good squad. Top 12. I'm saying top 12. Pretty sure I have like 22 teams in my top 12. Sentinels coming back with Lethal. I think the drama is really weird. Sentinels made it to the top 8, but they also got taken to game 3 by a bunch of teams that normally wouldn't take the game. I don't know. I got them at the top 3 or bust. They should be getting second place as well, but I also had Optic and Cloud9 as top 2. I mean, Sentinels should be shooting for top 2 or bust, but I don't know. I'm feeling a third place. I don't know. I'm feeling a third place for Sentinel, which is, I guess, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot going on with the whole Lethal, and is he in? Is he out? I don't know. It's a lot. Built by Gamers, dropping King J, picking up Aperture, same 3, stealing Bomax from ESA Red not too long ago. Aperture, really talented player. I think Built by Gamer could be fighting for top 8. I'll put him again top 12. I'm not putting anybody in 16th place. I feel like 16th is last place, so I'm just saying top 12 for everybody. Built by Gamers, they a lot of talent. I don't know. I really liked King J on this squad, but just clearly obviously didn't work out. Nemesis team with YNOT back in the day. I really like that. Oxygen Supremacy squad. Like I said, Bomax, ESA Red, tons of talent. And then a Mines, Mines so good, people thought he was cheating. That he's so damn good. Rampaging Rhinos, don't ask me to put a place on them. Not gonna do it. Like this squad, like when I first heard about this squad, I was just like, what the hell? Like this team is just so interesting. Now, after what Mikwens said in this video earlier, it kind of is making sense, I guess. You got Ryan Newman Rain possibly coming in to join Arctic and Suspector and kind of snipe down, filling in. Like I said, I'm not even in love with that roster. I kind of like this squad with snipe down in the mix, or at least I'm trying to like it. I don't know. It just seems so interesting, but it could work. It definitely could work. And you know what? This tournament is going to be a great, maybe a sign to see what to expect from Xset if they do go with Arctic Inspector and joining Rain and Ryan going forward. I'm very interested to see what this squad is doing, because I can see them playing absolutely lights out together. I can see them not. I don't know. I don't know enough about the team, but we'll find out on Thursday. And finally, we have Torrent. Torrent had Piggy ask them to release them last week. They picked up Parzelli, who I believe is a former Call of Duty player, previously teamed with Shopify Rebellions after dropping him in his duo Mox. So same core 3. I think Filthy G at one point was on Xset at one point. Torrent, they're a good squad. They really are. Hotshot Ghost is absolutely incredible. Huss and Filthy G are insane, and I haven't got the chance to watch too much of Parzelli, but I'll definitely have my eye on him going forward. I think Torrent obviously qualified for Anaheim in that top 16, which I guess turned into an invitation, I guess. Lots of talent here with Torrent after after dropping Pig. I meant after dropping Aperture. If I said dropping Pig, I apologize. They had Aperture on the squad, but Aperture ended up getting dropped, and now we have Parzelli filling in. Sorry if I mixed that up. And that's going to be your top 16 teams going into Thursday. Again, no FaZe, no E United just yet, but I'm sure soon they'll be joining us. Either way, tons of talent here. And if you guys want to ask me any questions live, I stream every morning, 10 o'clock in the morning with some Halo Infinite action. We do ranked reviewers if you guys want to jump in and play with me. Play with a low Onyx caster. And yeah. I think that's pretty much it for me. I'll probably do another video like this on Wednesday. Hopefully the bracket will be ready. I'll actually do a bracket breakdown. And maybe we'll even do it live on Twitch. I'll turn it on at night or something. Either way, love you guys so much. Peace.